I think it's important to know that the world, for some reason, buys bad news, meaning they buy into it. Like whether it be in your own house, in your own friend setting, sometimes where people like to join in. Oh, did you see what he did? Oh my God, yeah, he's terrible. Like instead of standing up for people or just leaving the room. Look, I don't feel comfortable when people start talking bad about others.
I've always thought about it like the law of attraction, right? I mean, whatever you're putting out, you're getting much more back. I think. I mean, I always focused on serving other people. If I can help enough people get what they want, I just always seem to get more than I ever even wanted or expected. And I don't know, does that kind of, do you feel that way a little bit?
Yeah, I think the whole theory behind good news only is that I want to be the person that the only time I ever put my hand down on someone is to help them up. And so the good news only theory is certainly things aren't always perfect. Things happen. You have death, you have sickness, you have all sorts of trauma that happens to all of us. We're not alone on that. And then I think that the good news is I get to decide how I react to it. So it's my choice how I react. It's like I always tell people, it's if you don't change, it's still your choice, you know? So be the person that is in the room that people like being with. Don't be toxic. Don't be negative. Don't talk about others. I think those are just bad habits. You ever been in a room where you're tolerated rather than celebrated? I want to get out of the room I'm just tolerated in, and I spend much more time in the celebration room. And I mean that wholeheartedly. Like, and it's okay that I'm not tolerated in certain rooms. That's okay. I'm not. I move on. You know, it's like, and you and I both know that as, you know, adults. You're a little bit younger than me, but I think you understand what I'm saying.
Well, I am biologically only 43, just so you know. So I just turned 50 years old, but I'm actually just biologically 43. But Mike, is it just like society? Like, how did we get to this place where, because I'm like you, man. I mean, and I think that's why we like hanging, because we're pretty positive people, and not, obviously we've had our share of problems, and we'll talk about some of those today. But as lessons, and just letting people know that just because you're positive doesn't mean you have this perfect life and everything is always perfect. But is it like a just society that's created this wealth of negativity around the world, man? It seems like it's almost like cool to be pissed off or negative or always complaining and gossiping and all this shit. Like, what's your thoughts on that, man?
I think it's important to know that the world, for some reason, buys bad news, meaning they buy into it. Like whether it be in your own house, in your own friend setting, sometimes where people like to join in. Oh, did you see what he did? Oh my God, yeah, he's terrible. Like instead of standing up for people or just leaving the room. Look, I don't feel comfortable when people start talking bad about others. It's very uncomfortable for me. And I think part of it is to be present. Now is the only moment we have, right? So don't ruin it by dwelling in sorrow of somebody else or breaking out the violin. I have an amazing family. I've still got six of us in my family. My mother's alive at 90 years old, and we try not to play the violin on each other. And I have a few of my family members that they know, like my sister Jerry. God bless her, she's so awesome. When I call her, I always try to tell her, "Hey, look, it's all about good news. You know me. We're only going to talk about good news." Because some people like to wallow in sorrow. They like to just talk about what's going wrong and why somebody did this. I look at the mirror every night, and I don't look out the window and blame the world. I look in the mirror and blame myself for anything. That's just the only way to be, right?
And do you think that let's look at the other angle, right? Because there could be people that will say things like, well, Mike, I'm just going through a bad time and I need to release it out of me, and I need to tell people about my problems, and I need to, really share my truth with others. And, so what's wrong with that, Mike? I mean, how come I can't just share my truth? I'm being truthful. I'm being authentically me. in this moment of pain and sorrow. And why would you dismiss that by saying, let's just be positive and let's forget about it?
Here's your chance to be the light, right? You could say, hey, the key to truth is to remember we're on a journey and there's no final version of you or me. You'll never reach a point where you've arrived at your ultimate self, because it's not about reaching a destination. It's about growing during that journey that you're allowed to have. And that's truth. The truth is we're all in this together. So if I'm in the same room with that person, I can choose to help them with the answer to that and get them through this moment in time. Because I don't like to define people by bad moments, bad trauma. I like to define them as where we could go as we sit here to get and overcome it. Because the other side of challenge is actually bliss in my eyes. You know, it's just a matter of getting through it. The other side, life's not easy. I promise you, it is not easy. And I completely understand that. But man, it's worth it when you get those moments and those memories that we all get to have. You could say you don't have them, but you're going to have them. You're going to have a child. You're going to be out swimming or snorkeling. You're going to be sailing on a boat with a bunch of friends and laughing. You're going to be at a party in the backyard where somebody has a horse as a statue, and you're going to look around and go, wow, this person, I admire them so much because they did this. They actually accomplished this on their own. And the fact is everybody can, because the world is full of possibilities.
If you like this video and you want to watch another one, click right here.